Good morning.
Morning, guys. Welcome to WRME Live, where we do real life, real world, real estate every day. And it's Friday in April, and it's cold. Okay, my pouting and complaining is over with now. We're at least in April. I don't know about you guys, but I am a gardener, and I am so excited that I can actually start putting tomatoes in the ground. Maybe not this week, courtesy of this cold, but soon.
There we go.
Hey, we got sound?
Yeah.
We got sound.
Well, yep. There we go. It was playing an old one, but we got sound now.
Okay, we got sound, so we're so fancy and modern with our portable telephones. And so God bless that we made it to April. I wish it would stay warmer, but I don't know about you. This 80 degrees one day and 20 degrees the next day.
It.
I can stomach the wackadoo from 20 to 60. I have a hard time tolerating 20 to 80 because that's too hot and too cold, and okay, now the complaining is over.
No, it sucks because I was sitting outside talking to the contractor yesterday, and it was like sunny and nice, and then all of a sudden it went cloudy and the cold breeze, and we're like, okay, this sucks.
Yeah, it was so nice in the morning, and then it just dropped, and just like, well, where in blue blazes did that come from?
And he's like, this stinks. We got a Scouts camping trip tomorrow, and it's supposed to be in the 50s and 60s. I was like, have fun.
Well, it's all part of learning the Scouts life. Surviving out there.
No, I'm not the parent, so y'all have fun.
She's like, my kid's grown, I'm good. All I have to do is make sure he doesn't do something dumb, which good luck with that. We can't do that anyways. Okay. First off, I want to acknowledge this is the 29th anniversary of the Murrah bombing. For anyone around here who's been around for almost 30 years, almost everyone I know has a story or an experience. And we could go right down that rabbit hole, but just, if you ever get a chance, go check out the museum and the memorial. If you're one of those runner or healthy people, check out the Run to Remember. I think it's actually next week, if I recall correctly.
I don't know. I don't run.
I don't run either, but I used to volunteer at like handing out bananas and fruit and whatnot. There's just a number of ways to still remember how it shaped not just our community, but our state and our world. It changed a lot of policies, but again, rabbit hole. But we have to think about this shift in weather. Any Okie knows we're going right into storm season, and it's going to get interesting. Oh, my Lanta is going to get interesting, and me and her, we're just kind of talking about all the random things that we have to think about as people that live in Tornado Alley, such as this is an excellent time to check your storm shelter and prepare it.
Move stuff off of it so you can open it.
Yeah, some people put their Christmas tree on it during December or low tornado period.
Or if it's in the third car garage, you got crap all over it like I do.
Yep. And so now is the time to make sure you can access it, do any maintenance you need to. Like at my house before, I don't have one right now. I'm saving up. But the one I had to, every year I had to oil the hinges so they didn't fight me when the time came. And then mine was an in-ground outside, so leaves or spiders would get in there. Now's the time to get them out because you don't want to have to be throwing toddlers into the storm shelter and they're screaming because they're spiders. You're going to have enough stress. Take care of the spiders now. And then this is also a good time to be thinking about whatever your family's unique needs are and make sure they're accommodated in the storm shelter. We were talking about, like, she has quite a few dogs. Cute, fluffy, they hate birds. But you got to get them down there. You got to have, if they can't handle certain things, you need to have like the Thunder Coat to help keep them calm, or a crate or a kennel, some spare dog food, a water bowl for them to drink. If you've got dietary issues, diabetic, low blood sugar, long list of things, you need to be thinking about some granola bars or whatever's appropriate for your diet that's shelf stable to be down there.
Or little ones, something to keep them occupied and less freaked out or whatever.
That's a good place for... one person I bumped into took the toys that they were about to donate to Salvation Army. They'd pick a select, and that'd be the toys for the storm shelter for that year, because the kids would forget about it, but if they're in the storm shelter, they had something to do that they were familiar with that wasn't battery dependent. Mm-hmm. And then when they cleaned out the shelter next year, those went to donation, and the next batch got moved down there. And kind of out of sight, out of mind, while also taking care of the storm shelter.
And mindful of size, because most storm shelters are small, so you don't want cluttered.
You want to be able to utilize the space as best as possible. I need more coffee. For instance, there's some people that have come up with some clever things for storage underneath the stairs. I'm not that clever, but I love to revel in their cleverness. Crates, whatever, keeping in mind where the water flow is, because you open that door, rain's coming in, if it's an outside shelter. But thinking ahead, putting them in appropriate places, and being mindful of your space. And, one thing I think I mentioned it, whatever. Someone mentioned it about how we know that some people just leave gallons of water in their storm shelter as a constant. Make sure it's fresh water. If you put a case of water down there every year, that's fine. Take the old one out, put a new one in, because water can go bad, it can go stagnant, and you can't just put straight tap water down there and leave it down there a decade. It will be bad for you to drink. There are treatments you can put in there so they last longer, but it might just be a good habit that every year you go get a fresh gallon of water, case of water, something, and cycle through it, so that way there's no question, no gamble, rather than wondering when was the last time you filled up this gallon of water when you really need it. And of course, thinking about batteries and light sources. And I knew one person that was so concerned because of their medical reasons, they had a bucket. You can guess what that was for. But that was what they needed based on their medical needs, and the last thing they wanted to do was to worry about that. So, but you've got to think about that going into this season. But there's other less Tornado Alley specific things you can be thinking about for seasonal care, such as this is a great time for checking your heat and air. The heat and air guy, I can't remember his name, bumped into him last week. He recommended.
There's so many.
Point being, every HVAC guy I've ever talked to recommends having it serviced about twice a year, one at a minimum, because things just change. Rats get into the wiring, or in the case of my house, helicopter seeds from the oak tree just fill up the darn thing. And so basic service can vary, but it's still notably cheaper than the repair down the line if they can service it, maintenance it, and you can monitor it.
Well, units get dirty, they build up, so it causes them to work harder, which could cause issues, strain, they use more electric when they work harder, just lots of issues. Another thing we do every few years, we've had spray insulation put in. We check it. Ours was just low. We did it one year and noticed a huge difference, so that helped our heat and air cost. Better insulation, helps your unit because it's not having to cool or heat as long. So just little things you can consider.
There's something as simple as making sure you have good door seals, decent window seals. In the case of my house is fairly old. The air conditioning was added later, if I'm correct. And so there's this pipe going up the brick wall that, according to my heat and air people, wasn't insulated by itself, wasn't insulated enough, and was making the machine work. So even though I didn't have to insulate my old house, which I probably need to do eventually, just insulating that specific AC pipe, they know which one, I don't know what it's called, dramatically reduced my electric bill because it didn't have to work as hard to get the cool into the system. And it's another perk of having it serviced is someone who actually knows what they're doing goes, oh, this fancy special pool noodle will solve your problem. I think it was $20. And it helped notably on our specific electric bill.
So now's a good time to walk around, check filters, check seals around doors, caulking around windows, stuff like that, just to see if anything's, leaking air, letting cool, hot air in now before it gets too hot.
Checking the eaves, because I don't know about you, all sorts of random things try and live in the eaves of my house. And right now is a great time that if you have any gaps or holes in your eaves, maybe not the size of a raccoon, but even small ones, in my part of Oklahoma, we have wasp out the wazoo. And so every year I have to go around and check my eaves and make sure that nothing's popped or shifted from the winter weather to where the wasp can get back in my eaves again. Yes, again. and I have to figure out how to chase wasps out of my attic. So check your eaves if you know any quirk about your property that can be preventative. This is an excellent time before the wasps wake up or the tornadoes come through. If you have a well, there's lots of things you can be doing to servicing your well or your water heater. And now's the time to do it before it gets too hot or too crazy. Because when the kids are out of school, you're going to have your hands full. And even if you don't have kids out of school, if you live near a school, the traffic's bananas anyhow.
Yes.
Gosh, the banana traffic. Oh, okay. I feel like there's more. Lord only knows. I don't have enough coffee in me, and this is my existence.
So, that we've talked a while. So,
Oh, okay.
you guys have any comments, suggestions, questions, anything, just comment, let us know. Topics you'll want to hear us ramble about. Let us know. So, but we're going to get off here. I got some more work to go do in Edmond, so I got to get going.
Well, we are WRME Live, where we do real life, real world real estate every day.
Bye, y'all.
Have a good one.